Okay.
Good morning, sixth graders. Okay, so this video is going to be for Tuesday, March 31st. We are going to cover your grammar for the day. We are also going to cover your reading and writing for the week. Okay, so I'm going to give you your assignments for reading and writing for the whole week at the end of this grammar lesson. Okay? All right, so last week in grammar we talked about capitalization. We talked about when we capitalize things, and what we capitalize. We capitalize the first word in every sentence. We capitalize proper nouns. We capitalize proper adjectives, names, days of the week, months. We don't capitalize seasons. So we talked all about that last week. This week we are going to move on to punctuation. So today's lesson is all about end punctuation. Some of it's should be a review. Actually, some of it we talked about at the beginning of the year. And we are also going to talk about some abbreviations, okay? Because we do use punctuation when we abbreviate things. Okay. First, I want to talk about why we use punctuation. If we didn't use punctuation, our writing would be very confusing, okay? So I have a paragraph I'm going to read to you. If this paragraph has no punctuation, you're going to see it's very hard to understand what exactly I'm talking about. I cleaned my room on Tuesday. In a drawer, I found my lost books in the cracks around the windows. I cleaned away some spiders. I washed and waxed the floor with a mop. I dusted the furniture with a knife. I scraped off some old loose paint with a brush and some white paint. I painted the woodwork. Okay, so there was no punctuation in there. And if I was really looking at it, it would sound like I said I dusted the furniture with a knife. Well, that wouldn't work. So you'll find that when we use punctuation, it helps to make our writing clearer. What the paragraph should have sounded like was, I cleaned my room on Tuesday. In a drawer, I found my lost books. In the cracks around the windows, I cleaned away some spiders. I washed and waxed the floor with a mop. I dusted the furniture with a knife. No, I dusted the furniture. With a knife, I scraped off some old loose paint. With a brush and some white paint, I painted the woodwork. Okay? So when we use our punctuation, and if you follow the punctuation when you're reading, it makes our writing clearer, easier for people to understand, and that's what we want, okay? All right, it also gives them a chance to breathe. So, we know that we use punctuation at the ends of our sentences. You have learned that for many years. And at the beginning of the year, and if you were in my class last year, we talked about the 4 different types of sentences. So I'm fixing to hold up a board, and I've got some rules written on this whiteboard. If you feel like you need to write these down, you can pause the video, you can write them down. It's not something you have to do, but I want you to see the rules with your eyes, and I want you to hear them, okay? All right, so you're not gonna see my face, you're gonna see the board. So at the beginning of the year, we talked about the 4 different types of sentences. First, we have declarative sentences. Declarative sentences make a statement, okay? If I said, that book was good, I have made a statement about the book. Declarative sentences end with periods. An imperative sentence is a command. If I told you, go wash the dishes, I have commanded you to do something. Imperative sentences also end with periods. Sometimes imperative sentences can end with an exclamation mark, but normally they are going to end with a period. The third type of sentence is an interrogative sentence. Interrogative means question, okay? So if I said, where is your book? I have asked you a question. It has to have an answer. Interrogative sentences end with a question mark. Then the fourth type of sentence is exclamatory. Exclamatory sentences show excitement. They end with an exclamation mark. If I said, "School was so fun," there was excitement in my voice. I was excited about what I was telling you. Okay, we are going to end exclamatory sentences with exclamation marks. Okay, all right. We are also going to use a period after most abbreviations. For example, when I have the name of a state in an address, if I'm addressing an envelope, then I'm going to use the state's abbreviation. Texas is abbreviated capital T, X, period. Okay? Every state has an abbreviation. So after most abbreviations, you are going to use a period. There are also abbreviations for measurements, like inches, yards, miles, the days of the week, months. Those all have abbreviations. Now there are some well-known abbreviations, well-known phrases for certain organizations that are not going to need periods. But we'll talk about those later. I don't think that you should have any today. And lastly, abbreviations should not be used in general writing. So for example, if you were writing something for school, a story, a report, a letter to somebody, you are not going to use abbreviations in your writing. So if you were writing something for me, a story, a research paper, any type of report, you should be writing out the whole word. We are not going to abbreviate in our writing. Okay, so those are the rules for punctuation for lesson 76 today. You can also find those rules on page 340 in your book, and that's where we're going to be at right now. Okay, so in your grammar book, you should be on page 340. At the top of that page, you will see a gray box, and in the gray box are the rules that I just went over. This is my house. Now we're going to look at class practice. So part A, it wants us to divide each group of words into sentences with proper capitalization and proper punctuation. So we're going to look at the first one. It says, "Do you hear that robin? How cheerfully he sings, we should sing too." That should actually be 3 different sentences. So we need to look at that group of words and place our punctuation where it needs to go. So the first sentence would be, "Do you hear that robin?" I'm asking a question. It needs an answer. So we are going to use a question mark at the end of that group of words. Do you hear that robin? How cheerfully he sings. Okay? This could go one of 2 ways. It's a statement, so it's declarative. I could end it with a period. But I'm also a little excited about this. So in this case, I'm going to use an exclamation mark. Do you hear that robin? Question mark. How cheerfully he sings. We should sing too. Okay, there's another statement, and that one is going to end with a period. Remember, we capitalize the first word of every sentence. So we would have 3 capital letters because we have 3 sentences. Okay? Then on part B, you have a list of abbreviations. and it wants you to tell what each abbreviation stands for. If you go back to page 338, yes, page 338, they go over all of the different abbreviations for you, okay? So you are going to be able to find most of your answers on page 338 and some on page 339. So use those pages when you are answering your questions. Okay, this is just class practice, so you're not doing this on your own just yet. So the first abbreviation for part B is IN period. IN period stands for inch, okay? So if I had 7 and then I had IN period, it would mean 7 inches. Number 3, YD. YD period stands for yard. Okay, so part B is just going through some of those abbreviations. Like I said, look on page 338, go through those. It's gonna help you. Okay, so what you are going to work on today, this shouldn't be very difficult. You are going to do written exercise A, 1 through 3. You are going to have to write the whole sentence for part A, 1 through 3, okay? On part C, so you're gonna skip B, you're gonna go to part C. Part C, you have 6 state names. You are going to abbreviate those state names. Now, if the answers aren't on page 338, you may have to look those up, ask a parent, but I want you to become familiar with the abbreviations for state names. And then on part D, you are going to write the correct abbreviation for each word. So they give you words like teaspoon, cup, inch, second. You are going to give the correct abbreviation for each of those words. Most of those things you can find on page 338. If you can't, you may have to look it up another way or ask a parent, okay? All right, so I'm gonna show you a board. You can pause it and write down your assignment for today. This is your grammar assignment for Tuesday, March 31st. I hope you can see this. So pause the video if you need to. This is what you are going to do for grammar. Okay, so if you pause the video, now you're back. We're done with grammar. You can work on grammar in a little bit, but I want to go ahead and finish up this video by telling you what you're going to do for reading. Everyone should have the book Nori Ryan's Song. If you didn't come up to the school on Friday to get it, I think I only had a couple that weren't able to make it, then your parents either ordered it or you still need to get it from me. So if you still need to get the book from me, talk to mom or dad, have them contact me, and I will find a way to get you a book. But we need to get it to you soon because this is the book you're going to start reading this week. Okay? So Nori Ryan's Song is by Patricia Riley Giff. And Nori Ryan's Song is about a little girl who lived in Ireland during the potato famine. Okay? The potato famine, you are going to do a little research on this week for your writing. Before we get there, you are going to read through chapter 8 this week. So you are going to read chapters 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You are going to stop at chapter 9. So by next Tuesday, you should be all the way through chapter 8. Stop at chapter 9. Okay? So go ahead and start reading that. That's your reading assignment for the week. If you read 2 chapters one day and then 1 chapter all the rest of the days, you will have all your reading done. And guys, they're really short chapters. So you should be good on that. For your writing, I want you to research the potato famine in Ireland, and then you are going to write a newspaper article. So your newspaper article is going to be about the famine going on in Ireland. I want you to tell me some of the details. Tell me what's going on. What is the potato famine? What does it mean for families in that area? Who is it affecting? How is it affecting them? You also need to inform the people of the desperate measures that need to be taken. What do these people need to do because of this potato famine? Now, if you're thinking about this, you're thinking potato famine. That sounds kind of silly. Well, in Ireland, potatoes were a big crop, and this affected a lot of people. This is based on on real events. The potato famine was a real event that happened in Ireland. So, look at some newspaper articles, read through some, see how they're written, and then I want you to write your own newspaper article about the potato famine in Ireland. Remember, you are going to have to do some research on this. Most of you are not going to know anything about the potato famine in Ireland. You are going to have to do some research before you start writing, okay? So that's your writing assignment for this week. Now, because I can't get work from you, because we aren't in class together, it's very hard for you to give me a rough draft and me to edit and then hand it back to you. So we're doing things a little different. I still want you to write that rough draft. Then you need to have someone in your house edit it, or if you have no one that will edit it for you, send it to me. I will mark it and do what I can through text messages. Then you need to do your final copy, okay? So that is also going to be due next Tuesday. So you have a whole week to read through chapter 8, stop at chapter 9, and to write your newspaper article on the potato famine. This isn't going to be a 3-sentence paper. I want a newspaper article. Really, you should probably have a few paragraphs, okay? Some of the things I've told you. Tell me what the potato famine is. Tell me who it is affecting. Tell me how it's affecting them. And then what needs to be done. What needs to be done to fix this crisis, okay? All right, so that's your grammar for today. And then your reading and writing for the whole week. I will remind you about the reading and writing throughout this week, but that's something you need to be working on your own, okay? All right, I hope y'all have a great day. Remember, text me if you have any questions. You can also FaceTime me or set up a time to FaceTime me. Don't just FaceTime me randomly. You don't know what you're gonna get. So, but if you need some one-on-one help, you are always welcome to set up a time and I will FaceTime you and work through whatever we need to, okay? Y'all have a great day.